Hello everyone, welcome back to my card review series. Today we're taking a look at Failed Experiment, and I'm going to start off right off the bat by slotting this into A tier. This card can net you 3 Faeria, which is pretty incredible, but we have to know how to use this card properly, because if we don't use it properly, then it's definitely not A tier material. So we have to understand the downsides to this card. And one of those obvious downsides is, of course, that the creature dies at end of turn. But another hidden sort of disadvantage to this card is that we have to use Failed Experiment on another creature. That requires 2 cards, and then we have to have a 3rd card to actually make use of this Faeria, if that makes sense. So in a long roundabout way, it's almost like a 3-card combo. But all that means is that we need a lot of card draw typically in our decks in order to actually make use of Failed Experiment and then the Faeria advantage that we gain from it. Another option is just to have a more expensive list overall, and then as you draw into more expensive cards, you have all this extra Faeria to spend, but yeah, typically draw is very good with this card. And to give you a better example, here are some cards that I think are very good when paired with Failed Experiment. Storm Spawn's a very classic example because of this Last Words. Last Words is very good for Failed, of course, because it dies instantly. That's its purpose in life, is to die.
Oh my god.
And so Storm Spawn being 10 Faeria and giving you back 10 Faeria means you can essentially net yourself 3 Faeria and spend this Faeria on stuff that won't die. So Storm Spawn's a very clean way of gaining this advantage. Majinata is another card which we'll talk about later because this has some very complex mechanics to it. Plague Bearer, and again, it's got Last Words, very good when paired with Failed because you get the effect immediately. However, you are going to lose out on 1 value with this card because it's 3 cost, you don't get that full 4 discount, but it's more than fine with this effect. Failed Plague Bearer is a decent combo there. Aridin, again, Last Words. Istanu also has Last Words, but something unique with Istanu is that when it dies and transforms into a friendly creature, if that friendly creature doesn't have Summoning Sickness, in other words, you played it on a previous turn, it gets to move and attack immediately that turn. Whereas if you just hard play Istanu, it can't move and attack because it's got Summoning Sickness, but Transform kind of works like that, where it carries over Summoning Sickness onto that creature, if that makes sense. Stargazer and Lore Thief are very good examples of draw cards you can use this with. As I mentioned, draw, very important with this card. Now this uses the Gift ability, which has some maybe tricky things, which we'll talk about in a sec. Crassius, another reasonably classic example, I suppose. We've seen a lot of Crassius lists in the past using Failed Experiment. You do lose out on 1 spawn from the creature, which is a mild downside, but you get so many spawns from Crassius, and usually this sort of Crassius combo list, typically that uses Aurora's creation, is very expensive, so Failed Experiment helps out a ton with this type of build. You can also use cards like Frog Tosser, but you have to be very careful with a card like this because it should be maybe only used as a last resort. If maybe a creature has 3 life out there and your Frog Tosser is going to die anyways because it's got 4+ attack, you can use Failed in this instance. However, I would look for more opportunities to play Frog Tosser as is and try and get both the Frog Tosser to stay alive and the little toad that spawns. Using Failed Experiment just to kill off the creature and deal 3 damage is not as effective as having the creature survive. So just keep these things in mind. You want to have creatures that have a real big impact with Failed Experiment to make up for the fact that you're simply losing the creature altogether. And now with all of these gift abilities, this does get a little bit tricky with Failed Experiment, as I mentioned, so I'm going to walk you through step by step on how this sort of interaction works, because there's been a ton of confusion in the past for new and experienced players. Failed Experiment says that the next creature we play costs 4 less, it dies instantly, so we're going to resolve exactly that. The next creature we play will cost 4 less. Once we've selected a creature to play, we are giving the dies at end of turn effect to this creature as well. Essentially, we're adding that card text to this card, and all this happens before the creature is actually played. It's just happening instantly. So we play this Mace Man, and it dies instantly. Fantastic. When we play Failed with a gift creature though, we actually have two abilities trying to resolve at the exact same time. Failed says that when you play this creature from your hand, kill it instantly, and Gift says that when you play this creature from your hand, do this effect. So we have to resolve these effects one at a time, because obviously they both can't happen simultaneously. Either this Deepwood Stalker fights something and then it dies, or it dies first and now it's dead, so it can't actually fight anything. So the Faeria devs decided to give priority to gift abilities in this scenario, which means that all gift abilities will trigger before Failed's death effect, and for good reason, because this lets Failed be more useful with cards like Deepwood Stalker and all other gift cards. But now we're gonna add even more complexity to the mix and talk about Majinata. This also has a gift ability, but the first effect here is that a friendly creature swallows Majinata. So we need to understand how Swallow works in order to continue from here. Swallow completely removes a card from the game. This would essentially be like removing it from your deck in the deck editing screen. It's the same as Exile in Magic the Gathering, or I suppose Banishment in Yu-Gi-Oh! From what I understand. I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! But that means that any changes made to that card, such as effects bestowed upon by Failed Experiment, are removed as well. That creature ceases to exist, so there's nothing for this effect to hang on to anymore.
There is no spoon.
So, much to many new players' surprise, Majinata will not die from Failed Experiment, but be stored safely within your friendly creature's belly. The creature containing Majinata will, of course, then get +5/+5 flying and charge 2, and once this creature dies, Majinata is returned to the board. But since it was removed from the game, you could almost just consider this as a brand new copy of the card coming out onto the board. And now you've got a fully functioning Majinata that can be discounted with Failed Experiment. And this is not a bug, this works exactly as intended, so long as Majinata actually gets swallowed. If you use Failed and Majinata with no friendly creatures on board, obviously she'll die as normal because nothing is stopping that death effect. Now this video has already been technical enough, so I don't really want to go deeper into this, but if you are curious, here's a list of the order of operations for all summoning abilities. The most relevant things on this list is that the failed creature dies at the end of everything else, of course meaning that Gift triggers first, but also Illusion of Grandeur will get its buffs before the creature dies as well. Okay, let's talk about some deck lists now. So I've prepared two lists for you here today. One is a list that's going to use Majinata, and the other list is a combo deck. Combo decks work very well with Failed Experiment, both because you need a lot of draws in sort of combo decks like this, and a lot of Faeria. So combo decks typically will almost always run Failed Experiment for those reasons. But let's talk about green-blue 7s first. So this is a list that was actually made by Super Blizzard. I just made some minor modifications here to help you fight Burn on the ranked ladder, because Burn is very popular on ladder. So you can see that the failed here is actually pairing up with Triton Stargazer, that very efficient draw tool as I mentioned earlier. So typically you want to save your failed experiments for the Triton Stargazer. However, since Failed works with Majinata, this would be, I suppose, your top priority to use this card. Because essentially Failed Experiment nets you that 3 Faeria on Majinata with 0 downsides whatsoever. So top priority is Maj, and then the second priority I suppose would go to the Triton Stargazer. Stargazer is a very weak body, a 2/1 jumper. I mean, jump is a nice ability, but having 1 life makes you very vulnerable to like Ground Shaker and things. So pretty much you want to kill this creature off. And it's kind of similar with Aurora. You can also failed Aurora if you want, and that'll give you your full value back for failed as well, and it's a 1/1 body, doesn't matter too much if it dies off. So for the rest of this deck, we have a lot of 7 synergy here, and 7 synergy is just using the cards like Gabrian Commander, Spring Mochi, Gabrian Archon. They pair very nicely with 7's cards, and we've got Windfalls, Tethra, and Majinata as our 7 or higher cost cards. Now you'll notice we're running Emperor's Command over Runin's Guidance, and if you compare these two side by side, you'll notice that Runin's Guidance is maybe slightly better. However, because of that 2 forest count, it affects things quite dramatically in this type of list. You'll notice, if you look at the land counts here, that most of this deck is 2 lakes actually, so this deck can very easily function on only 2 lakes. Maybe 3 lakes, because you kind of need some lands on board to actually move around. So those 2 forests are kind of coming in the later game, at least the last forest. You don't want to build that last forest until you actually draw into Tethra or Maj here. So Emperor's Command is a much better tool because it doesn't force you to build that second forest. You can use it immediately. And this is one thing to pay attention to in deck building. As I mentioned in my last video about picturing how your land structure is going to go, same applies here. You got to picture how your land structure goes, and lakes are going to come first. That last forest, if you can avoid playing it at all, would be ideal, and so Emperor's Command is just a much better tool that you'll be able to use through the early and mid game. The one of Ninja Toad also helps you out to sort of close games out. If you've got like Tethra or Maj in hand, you can give a very surprise burst of a massive amount of damage, or with Aurora, something like that. So one of Ninja Toad's it's a pretty neat trick for that reason. But okay, let's get into a match, and I'll show you how this deck works. Alright, we got Bamser playing in casual. Now for the mulligan here, we actually have 11 starting creatures, so you can often mulligan a bit more aggressively to find the cards you're looking for. Tethra we're of course going to throw away. We want to draw into this with like Spring Mochi discounts on it. That would be ideal. I'm gonna also toss this because I think I want a second starting creature next to Mochi. 2/2 stats are very vulnerable, and we got 3 of them. Okay, works for me. Now land placement is interesting as well. Got an Axe Grinder. So for this turn, I'm just gonna start Lake Center. We always go Lake Center here, but we've got some positional considerations to do with our lands. We've got a Tethra to worry about for our forests. The rest are all lakes. So typically you want the lakes on the well spots. I'll talk in a sec about differences you might make. Okay, so we gotta be aware of this getting super aggro. But we should be able to defend pretty nicely with like commanders and stuff. Let's just go to this side. Now I want to be able to windfall here, which is why I'm being a little bit hesitant to play stuff. We're on 5. We can't really windfall anyways next turn. Well, I suppose we can if this survives. Let's play the Archon and see what happens. If this gets like killed, then it gets killed. That's fine. So now you have to make considerations with the Tethra, like I mentioned, also aquatic, because this can't travel past this neutral unless it flips, gains those stats. So that is something to worry about. Sometimes you want to just simply go lake, lake, lake right beside each other to make this aquaticable. But other times, especially if you have Water Ellie opener, you can go lake, forest, lake. That works as well. So we get to collect and windfall. This creature didn't die, thankfully, so that's really good. And now let's just set up double Mochi. Yeah. We'll double Mochi. We might get Firestormed here, which would suck, but is what it is. Now we could either draw or prepare our next lands. I might as well prepare my next land. So we could go lake because we know that we're gonna, play that Aurora. Forest is typically the best third land to build if you don't have anything else. Just because that opens your power wheel up to lake or forest. But since we have that Aurora, we might as well lake. It's just a little bit, like if we draw into Water Ellie, we would like to build that lake last. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the lake here. And the reason also is because I want to have my power wheel open to drawing next turn, because I am on quite a bit of Faeria here. I might get blown out by like a Firestorm, but If I don't, I have a lot of Faeria to work with, and if I don't draw anything significant, I need to draw. So might as well play to my hand, build those 3 lakes. But if you don't have Aurora, or you don't have like a green card, you don't have Ninja Toad, you can go for Forest as your 3rd land. Because of sort of what I just mentioned, it just opens your power wheel to either accepting the lake or the forest, depending on what you top deck on future turns. But we got the Aurora, we'll play the lake. We got a Spite Sprite. Okay, so this is definitely an angry list. We do have to worry about Firebringers in the future, and I don't have Humbling Vision in this list. Ooh. Okay, that's a little bit too much deck weight. So we're going to take a draw. We need some playable cards. No worries. Okay, so we're definitely going to take this Aurora trade. Might as well put Aurora here. Aurora is a decent failed target. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not, but decent failed target. We're also going to take Command here to protect my commander. This doesn't feel like a great hit, to be honest. It's fine. We have so much resources here, and I'm actually going to hang on to the Windfall. And I'm going to do that because this is a huge surprise tool for my opponent. This could let me play like Tethra in the future when I'm on 4 and he's not expecting it, so he might play into a Tethra line. Now, this isn't looking great for me because I have so much Faeria value here. I really need to be drawing, but I also don't have any forests built. So once Tethra does come, I'm not going to be able to play him. So ideally, I need to draw into Stargazer Failed combo. That would be excellent if I could draw that sometime soon. Even just playing Stargazer flat out without the Failed could be good here, with all of this glorious, glorious Faeria. Got the Imperial Trooper and a Shedim Pest. Okay, that's not deck weight. So, yeah, we have the option to draw, or we have the option to build lands. Now, if I build a land, I could actually threaten this creature and maybe persuade him from not stepping up into collection. I think I'm going to step this guy in range, potentially. Just because I want this trade to happen, I don't want him to, like, top deck Cypher's Wrath too soon. Yeah, I really need card draw here, though, because I've got nothing playable. We're going to take a chart. We're going to take a draw. This trade in Stargazer, I don't mind it. So I'm going to step in range. I'm going to step over. I might actually play this, just hard cast this, and now we can actually threaten this Stargazer here. Sorry, this Shedim Pest, just like I wanted to do. So we're not using Failed, but I think it's alright. Oh my god, so many Windfalls, and we got the Failed. Yeah. How likely is it he runs Firestorm? It could happen. So we won't play the Water Alley. And we are going to have to apply some pressure soon because no Humbling Visions, no Frogifies. Now the reason that Humbling Vision isn't run is that we're kind of substituting the Humbling Vision for these insane buffs with Tethra and Maj. So you don't really need Humbling. If you're facing like maybe a lot of big things on ladder, like mono green especially, you could potentially throw in some Humbling Visions. It's just really difficult to know what to take out here because the deck is pretty solid as is. I mean, you could take out Emperor's Command, like 1 or 2 if you're not facing Burn on ladder and instead are facing mono green. That would be definitely a fine swap out. Yeah, that's really the only card that I'd swap out against mono green. Shifting Octopus is very good against mono green. You can make them like 7/3 stat lines. Yeah. Time of Legends, by the way, I didn't talk about. Time of Legends will draw you into Tethra, Maj, or Aurora, but it's very like, Aurora is a very strong card to draw into, but the other 10 costs, Time of Legends means that you can kind of control when your Gabrian commanders flip, in a sense, so that's pretty good for those reasons. Okay, he decided to step up, but he's calling my bluff. I have no answers to that. So I do have a lot of cards here. I might start building my forests now, because I'm going to eventually draw into Tethra Maj, and I have enough to play here at least now. We're going to take that collection. I also want to buff this, so I might just play the Windfalls here, just to buff this icon. Let's play the 10 cost first. Yeah, okay, that does buff it. I was curious. Kind of want Archon to go here, right? So we can go step, step. Kind of want to play Water Alley as well. So we'll do something like this. So I want to play the Water Alley to prevent the Corrupt trigger from happening, but just in case it does happen, now we do have that extra lake built, so it doesn't really matter too much. He might predict Frog Tosser in this list as well. He might be like, this might spook him into playing around Frog Tosser a bit more cautiously. This is a really awkward stat line to deal with though for the 6/6. How else could I have done this? Would have been lovely to have like the 2/2s to fight this, but yeah. Okay, hitting into the Aurora. I'm really banking on the fact that he doesn't have Firestorm as well. Firestorm would be a huge, huge blowout for me. There's the first Firebringer coming down as an... Wait, all the way back there? Okay, he's just trying to get the discounts on Hate Seed. I don't know if that was worth it or not, though. Like, 8/6 is not very large. Oh my god, okay. Got a draw? That's... Yep, we got the Stargazer. Okay, I mean, we take this trade. This is a pretty easy trade. Again, I might just hard play this, save the faileds for Maj, because I've got so much Faeria to work with. Like, this represents, what, 8 extra Faeria? I'm on 17 right now, so yeah, we're just gonna hard play this probably. We can also set up these Stargazers to kind of fight the 6/4. Let's do this. Step here, maybe step back. Play the other Stargazer. Just hard casting it, because why not? And we got double failed into Maj next turn. That's pretty exciting. Wait, why did this... What happened here? Is this a visual bug? Yeah, okay, I can still play it. That is super weird. Sometimes visual bugs happen in this game, so this is still 4 cost. We gotta remember that. You can see that it's still playable. I'm on 4 and it's highlighted here. We could just Maj. No, this would just die. Okay, so we'll wait for next turn. But we have a big spicy turn next turn. Just depends where I want to use this. So double failed on Maj is like even better. This is like a free 6 Faeria here. And oh my god, do I have so much Faeria to spend. We're gonna be able to play Tethra and Maj all in one turn. Okay, there's the command. It's gonna take a little boop. So we can use Ninja Toad to clear this up. These stat lines are not very fun for me. Okay, but I haven't seen actually any event removal from him. Okay, we are going to use the ninja here. So I might be able to play this as a 7/3? Maybe? Yeah, what we need to do... I almost could have saved that Ninja Toad to go face. That was 3. 8 damage to face I could have done there, but it's not quite enough to close out the game. I could take another draw. I think I'm just... Well, what am I drawing for? I might as well just develop the land. We need to look at getting an aggro creature, yeah? Okay, since I'm roping a little bit, we'll just do this. Now he might have Horsemaster, actually probably does have Horsemaster, but he's gonna have to top deck it, right? So he's got this Horsemaster line to clean up the octopus, but he has to top deck it here, and he didn't, because he's got to build that land. And I didn't collect here because I didn't want to get value traded, so that's fine. Now if we get Tetra, we might just play an 11-11 Tetra, that would be okay. Okay, gotta take another draw. It's another Archon. Yeah, so we really have to apply pressure. I'm down to 9 cards now, so I need to use my remaining tools to actually finish this game. He has no cards left. Very good to note. So we could double command this to clear it, but what is double command? It keeps my guy alive. It doesn't really matter though. We can double command. We can water Ellie to clean this up. I guess it's not awful. Double command though kind of hurts. Double command, double command. Trying to value what this is gonna actually do for me. You know what? Okay, we're gonna windfall. Gonna double command. Take this, take this. Play water Ellie. Right here. So I don't want to build this land for him to be able to step on, that's for sure. Because otherwise that's a top deck Horsemaster he can just clear me with. So this gives me an aggro lake in the future if I want it. I don't know. Don't really know where else to put it. There's an option to put it here for like a future Stargazer, potentially. But, yeah. So, another important thing with Maj is to remember Faeria thresholds. So with a singular failed experiment, you need 7 Faeria built up in order to play this. This costs 1, it discounts by 4 to 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Double failed into Maj, it's going to cost 4. So, huge advantage we have here though is that Bamser is only on a singular card. Which makes our offensive ability a lot easier to get off here. Wait, we did see one Cypher's Wrath at the beginning, I think, so it's possible there's another. Gotta hope that he has no answer to the— oh, it's a Garrotin. Yeah, makes sense. That's huge. That is huge. I'm just finding no ins to face. Like, he's always got a creature to defend, and I suppose he always will. So one thing we could do is just play it. We kind of have to close the game out quick, but yeah. 6-1. Really sucks that the 6-1 survives. Let's just hard cast it. We'll see what we get. Might as well drop this as is. Even if this trades here, it saves ourselves 6 damage. I don't mind it. And we are going to accept this trade here, which is fine, I guess. Another unfortunate thing is Firebringers are coming, and we're not going to be able to deal with them. So yeah, we definitely have to put something aggro next turn, like guaranteed. If he drops Firebringer here, I'm just kind of dead. Double neutral. He's going for a Horse Master. Onto the 6/4. Yeah, that hurts. Does hurt. I'm not going to be able to find any in this game. I think I'm going to call it. Maj only boosts this to 6 life, which really sucks. I need whatever creature that goes aggro to be able to survive, because if Maj just ends up here, he's not gonna be able to do anything. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. I gotta deal with this Gary in some way that doesn't kill my buffed creature off. So really, it's just gonna be the Archon to hopefully kill us, I guess. We just stay here? That's really the only thing I see. Very fearful of, you know, the boy. But again, he's got no cards in hand, so we'll try and kill this. Give a +1 and pass. So 4 cards left to close this game out. One of those cards is going to be Tethra, so I do have to actually have Faeria enough to play Tethra. No Firebringer, please. Oh, he took a draw here, so yeah, no Firebringer. Fire Elemental, though. Oh, okay, maybe Firebringer. That was a good top deck for him. Okay. So he's got 2-turn lethal set up for me. Can I set up 2-turn lethal? I don't think so. I can play both of these, which is nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for that. Tethra might not be happening this game. 'Cause I'm gonna have to block this. Yeah, we'll do this. Make this a 3/7. Just so he survives. I really need this attacking angle here to get Maj in there. And this is gonna save myself a little bit of extra damage. Because without this, he's got 2-turn lethal, right? But all he needs is like a Cypher's Wrath. He's down to his last 10 cards, so yeah, all he's got to do actually is really just drop a creature there. So either there's a Cypher's Wrath, or there isn't. Spite Sprite. Oh, he's got a heal? That's cheating. Cheating. But he didn't have a creature to drop here. So, I think we just go all in face and hope this survives. I don't think it does, though. I mean, that's all I've got. Failed. Magi. Boop. Now, so he's gonna go 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we can clear this, and I've only got 5 damage. I'm so close, but so far. If the last card's a command, I guess I have the +1 anyways, no matter what I do. So probably this game I should have held on to the Ninja Toad. That would have been best. Oh wait, sorry, this just needs to die. Right, he's got to be super careful about this. Right, that Spite Sprite's a liability for him. So yeah, I think I just win if there's a command in the bottom of my deck. I just don't remember. I feel like I used one already, but I can't remember. I I sure hope there's another one. Because this is my last turn. I don't get another turn after this. There's the Tethras, we take the draw. We'll see what it is. Oh, it's a failed? Damn! Well played, good sir. Just not gonna do it. That was so close. What if I mean, guess I might as well. Yeah. That was so close. So close. Ah, well played by Bamser. So yeah, that was a neat game. I think mistakes were made possibly with the Ninja Toad. It was great value for me, but I think in this particular sort of match where it's very swarmy from my opponent, I kind of have to hang on to that Ninja Toad to make use of that like Ninja Toad buff combo, because there was no way I was ever keeping his board clear. And the 6-1's very efficient at taking me out. So well played by Bamser, but let's move on to the Disciple list. Alright, on to the Disciple OTK list. So this list is a little annoying to play against. I'm sure many of you have experienced this on ladder already. It doesn't interact whatsoever with your opponent and just tries to build up a one-hit kill combo with the deck. So I know there's been a lot of frustrations with this list, but if you want to learn how to beat a particular list, you gotta learn how to play it. That's the only way. So that's what we're going to take a look at today, and this list is going to play very differently from traditional decks. The fact that it's a combo deck means that you might necessarily not be going for collections as much as you would with other decks. We've only got really 2 creatures in here that we can start off with. There's the Lore Thief and the Aurora's Disciple. Now you have to be careful with playing Aurora's Disciple too early because you want this to survive. So typically, you're going to mulligan until you get, I suppose, either Lore Thief or Aurora's Disciple is fine. Lore Thief's a very good starting creature, but you want to hang on to that Aurora's Disciple until you can actually buff it up enough to play out of popular removal, typically 3 damage, like Flame Burst, Wind Soldier, Choking Sands, even like double Soul Drain, double Cypher's Wrath, could be a consideration. So you might want to play this, you might want to hold on to this until it's actually 4 life or maybe 5 life even. And for those reasons, you want to definitely hold on to your events as much as possible until the Disciple actually comes down, so you can uber buff this to maybe either 10 or 20 attack. 10 attack is also fine because you can go for a 2-hit combo. Another notable thing here is we're running Origin Fanatic over Flash Wind. Now Origin Fanatic is not an event, so it does not synergize with Disciple. However, that land count is very important to know, especially for a combo deck like this. You want to keep your land count extremely low so that you can have access to other power wheel options, draw +1. Those options are very, very important so you can get to your combo pieces and give yourself extra Faeria to work with for the combo. So Fanatic is a lot better, also because typically you might be able to sneak a win in by turn 4, so by the time you build that 4th land, this deck is so strong, and you can get so many stats on the Disciple all at once. And then Stargazer, of course, same idea with the last deck, but this helps you draw into your combo pieces a lot earlier. We actually have no other failed targets really in this list besides these draw tools, Stargazer and Lore Thief. If you can hold the failed experiment for the Stargazer, that's better, because of course you get a little bit extra value. Lore Thief is 3 cost, so you won't get that full value on failed, but it's still a fine target there. And this deck will make a lot more sense when we actually get into a match. But yeah, just keep in mind to hold as much as possible until those Disciples come down, especially your mobility tools. You want to hang on to as much as possible so you can actually sneak in a lethal somewhere in there. So let's get into a match and hopefully you'll understand this deck a bit better. Alright, we're against Clue. Oh my god. Double Disciple opener. Okay. So I'm gonna ditch the failed experiment in this particular mulligan. Since failed is only useful on the Stargazer, we want to get these out with some more events. Yeah, I mean, I could hold on to it, but I think I'm just going to toss it. If we get a Lore Thief, we can just start with the Lore Thief simply, but looking for message in the bottle maybe. Maybe some of the yellow events. There's message. So he started blue, which means I could actually open with both disciples. Oh, sorry, I can't. I don't have enough Faeria for that. Okay, so we're gonna wait one turn, I believe. Yeah. Not gonna play anything because no matter where I put the disciple, he's gonna invest down that side. I suppose it doesn't really matter. We could just drop both and then we get a collection, but this is a little risky into like Emperor's Command. Don't want to play into that. We got failed. So this is a bit awkward with like Shifting Tide shenanigans. But this is a fast list, so we gotta kind of go fast ourselves. So we might as well drop these and just hope that we draw something playable here. We did not. I need at least a 4/4 to contest this, so I might just use the Shifting Tide here as a draw. That works. For next turn at least. And we'll produce the desert. So we've got the failed Stargazer combo lined up, that's nice. So with the Shifting Tide, I mean, like I said, you want to hold your mobility tricks as much as possible. However, in this situation, I really need something to contest this, because if there's a Sunken Tower, and to clear this, and this survives, then my other one's under threat as well. So I felt pretty pressured to use the Shifting Tide there. Shifting Tide's also pretty nice at taking out like taunts. If you get into their face and they taunt you, you can like maneuver around. Okay, so let's step. I could potentially kill this, right? Is that worth killing? Let's start with this. 3, 4, 5, 6. I should be able to play everything, yeah? Yeah, we'll start with this. See what we draw. Oh my god. Yeah, we're just gonna play it all. Honestly, I could just Shifting Tide here. Yeah, this should be game winning. Move a land. Move here, take this clear. I think we're just gonna double Soul Pact. And yeah. So that takes away a Ninja Toad out here. But it still opens up like training for this right side Aurora. Looks like it's going to be humbling into Ninja. It's a good answer. Yes, there he is. So one of my disciples is down. That can be a bit scary. Frogify is going to shut this deck down entirely. So I mean, this deck is just hot and cold. It's extremely high rolly. Either you get the disciples early or you don't, and either they have hard removal or they don't. So okay, so now we just keep drawing from here on out, hoping to get into some draw cards. We're going to do this, step up, and do nothing. So now we pray for no Frogify. Humbling Vision can set us back a little bit, buy him a little bit of time as well, to search for those Frogifys. Frogify is pretty likely if this is mono blue. Yep, there's a lake being produced. So pretty likely. Now we might want to block this space. If you're playing against a disciple list, blocking the center space is excellent because this is their primary attacking spot. And then that forces them to draw into another mobility trick. Yeah, so gonna drop a creature there to defend. Nice. Got a message, let's pop that. We will do another draw, another message. So we can hit face here. I mean, might as well. This is like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna hit face here. And demand an answer. If there's Humbling Vision, we pretty much lose. But that's how the deck goes. Either they have an answer or they don't. We actually have to use the Shifting Tide here. I only have one desert available, huh? Right. Oh, I could failed one, actually. Okay, let's... Wait. Oh, crap. Failed the... Okay. Gonna draw. Because maybe we can get the lethal here, actually. I need to do this quick, too. There's Frogify. Command. Didn't quite find it. That's okay. So that one dies. This comes across. Boop. Maybe I should have just grabbed Frogify, I guess, because it was more damage reduction, but... Oh, I missed one damage too. Whoopsie. Yep, okay. Well, GG, that's it. That's the deck. Either they top deck the hard removal, or they don't. And now this list has 0 gas left. We've got 1 Disciple, but it's too late in the game now, really. Used most of my mobility tricks, so it's pretty much over. Yeah, I definitely should have grabbed Frogify, though. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking there. But, oh well. We'll try for a bit, but this is pretty much lost. Treasure. Should draw first. There's a Disciple. So there's no point in playing this. I guess we'll try for a treasure and see if this can save us this turn. Magic Carpet might be okay, actually. Okay. Flying, -5. Yeah, Magic Carpet is a ridiculously broken card for this deck, because it pretty much guarantees you the lethal, but I didn't actually consider this. Okay, we need to put this in a spot where it can't be targeted, which is kind of nowhere. Yeah, this guy targets everywhere, huh? Okay. I'm gonna dash you right here. Oh no, I'm a little late. A little late to the party. I'm gonna do 1 Flash Wind. Just so I have... Oh, sorry. Oh, right, I played the Disciple. I was like, I need to play 1 Flash Wind so I can actually draw next turn. Because with this deck, you gotta watch your card count. If you're on 9 cards, you overdraw. But let's see if this will be enough. He needs to answer all three of these creatures, or he's dead. Or I suppose you can just block with a creature. That works too. No, it doesn't. I can Flash Wind it away. Okay. He needs to answer all 3 of these creatures. And I made it very difficult for him because he's got to build this land, which means he can't use his Power Wheel to draw for answers this turn, so we might actually win this. He's stepping back. Not bad. I think we got mega saved by this Magic Carpet. Oh my god. He's gonna try very desperately to defend his face and the Colossus, but it's not gonna be enough. We've got an infinite supply of Flash Winds, and we're gonna just zoom in there. Looks like he's already thrown in the towel. Alright, well, I guess we got it. There was that one out that we still had with the Magic Carpet. Ridiculously broken card, if you asked me. As you can see, very high rolly. I know it's super annoying to play against, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of an insight into how the deck functions so you can beat it for yourself. But thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this card review for Failed Experiment, and I'll see you in the next one.